Okay, so quick update video. I'm just modding up this. So I've removed the sort of chromy, horrible chromy binnacle or casing, and I've completely mullered the front. There's no way of getting that off without just destroying the edges. It's crimped over. I presume it's just done by machine. And I've taken out the glass front so I can stick that back on. And then I'm going to go ahead and make a fiberglass surround for this that's smaller than this, a little bit smaller, but it will just make the whole thing a little bit tinier and rat, and at least it will keep it original. So I don't want to go putting another Speedo on the bike or another mileometer, because you'll lose all the original miles. It's only got just over 14,500 on it. So this is where the Speedo binnacle used to be, front and centre, when it was all highly chromed, and I'm going to put it down here. So I just need to make a bracket for it, and I'm just going to show you that. And then once that's all in place, we're going to go fiberglass this. Right, so this was the old bracket that sat on there and joined it to the top yoke. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use these two P brackets to connect it to the top half of the fork, and I'm just going to take these nuts off. What I did, these studs here, these are 5mm by 0.8 thread pitch, and I'm just going to screw these on, which I got for a couple of quid, because I just need to extend out and away from here. These two pins need to stay here really, because the cable that goes in there, that's where the Speedo light fits into, that slot there, and in there you've got this little electronic inducer type thing that basically spins up the Speedo, and that's how that works. And then the cable I just need to trail through there and then out the back in some way. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to fit this bracket on here. Obviously I'll have to take it all apart again when I'm fiberglassing this unit together, but this is what it's going to look like on the bike. Just get this all done up. I think what I'm going to do is just do it so it comes round behind these pins. So this is on the outside. I can always grind this down and, you know, put rounded edges on it, paint it up black and what have you, just neaten it all up anyway. So you know, if it looks terrible when I finish, I can always redo it, can't I? So anyway. this is where it could go disastrously wrong. I'm literally going to trim around the painted white line just to neaten the edge up, and I'm just going to chip away at it. This is pretty tough, but yeah, don't want to put too much pressure or force on it, but to be fair, when I drilled out these, yeah, it wasn't that brittle, so it's pretty solid. Let's give it a go. Need to go get some electric, don't I? Extension lead. Pretty good. All back together. So, oh yeah, just need to drill that out where the little twiddler goes in. And I don't quite know how I'm going to finish this bit off yet, but that was intentionally done as far as there. Just to obviously just fit that back on, so I might get some clips or something I can just sort of pull across just to hold that on, if not glue it back on. Obviously we've got to get the dials back in and everything, so nearly there though. And yeah, I just think it looks a lot better than this oval chrome thing. Well, it doesn't look better, it looks terrible, but it's meant to look terrible, but obviously it needs all painting. So yeah, still got that to do. I've flipped the bracket round because that was coming down this way, and this way for some reason it seems a lot more stable, and because it pivots on the same mount there, which would have been the top one previously, is actually lowered it slightly, which is good because I can have it angled in when I'm sat on the bike a lot more, and I'm kind of sat up here so I can see it perfectly, and it's pointing right at me without anything getting in its way. And when the bike is on full lock, it doesn't foul on anything and it's tucked away nicely, so far better position. So I'm not going to change the bracket, I'm just going to leave it as it is. I just need to get that face back off again and drill through so that I can put the little trip changer dial pin thing back in. And I've got a new piece of Perspex on order for the face because I managed to break the other one that was actually glass, and so I just need to stick that on and then just do something with this to finish it off and then paint this up and order a new cable. Either get this one adjusted, or as in shortened, or just order one that's a right length because it's about 10 inches too long. And that's kind of where it's at now, so not too far off. I'm just going to get this bit finished off completely before I start looking at doing the warning lights. Just one job at a time. But once that's done, there really is very little left to do on this bike. Just made this out of a piece of rubber. It's not particularly rubber sheet. It's not particularly the best cut, but does the job. Good thing about this as well, the way it's just the way it's turned out, but the way I've put it together is it will just stand up on its end, which is perfect for what I want to do right now. There you go. Because I broke the original Binnacle, it was made of glass. I've got to make a new one, so rubber gasket just to give the new piece of perspex a bit of height so it's not fouling on the needle, and it kind of sits just right in there. Perfect. So anyway, I'm not going to glue anything down just yet, because what I'm going to do is just tape all this up, and we're going to make the new fiberglass binnacle around it. And this time I'm going to use fiberglass tissue. Cut that off there. Should be okay. In the fiberglassing world, they call this a release agent, and they do suggest a good option is just regular hair wax. Gloves on really. Snapped, but you know, that's why they call it tissue. The good thing about this, of course, is you can always just position it when it's on there. You can grind it down, and yeah, it's all pretty good. It's quite easy to work with. It can be a bit fiddly, but I think it's quite easy to work with, to be honest. Stop there because that's going gel like now. It's going all it's setting off. So okay. Well, you get about 5 minutes to work with this stuff. It's reasonably easy to prise off. So you can see you've got 2 layers of tissue on there. You practically can't see the tissue on the side because it's gone translucent, but I'm assuming once we've pulled it off and pulled all the tape out, it will slot on and off nice and easily. We just need to bore that hole out and possibly just give the whole thing a paint up, then maybe black, or maybe I'll use the same rust effect paint. I don't know yet, I haven't decided. Still very waxy, which meant it came off easily. It's less sturdy than the main body, but that's because I made this out of fiberglass mat and just used fiberglass tissue with this. So it's not quite as strong because it's lighter, it's finer, but it's a lot easier to mould. It's much more easier to work with for smaller things, smaller parts. And compared to the first attempt, it fits like a glove. Perfect. It is embiggened. The only problem I've got is the this gets clogged up, so I have to keep cleaning that off. I think what I need to do is step the speed up. So what I can do is move the belt up, maybe a couple of wheels, and see if the extra speed will give me a bit more performance out of that grinder. That's definitely doing a better job. It was just tickling it before. I'm just going to carry on. Every time I do that, it cuts much better. It's just getting clogged up. Just making circular movements. Well, just a quick test fit before I do any more. That's the kind of gasket, if you like, that I made. Let me just slip that on. That's exactly the look I was looking for. So yeah, actually I think that's all right. I don't think I need to cut really any more out of there. Maybe just a tiny bit more tidying up, and I think she's good to go. Caught that. Exactly what I was trying to avoid. Oh, never mind. I'll just file that out straight. Bugger. Well, I'm entirely happy with the way that's turned out. I just need to fix that lid on so that it doesn't blow off in the breeze. But the Speedo is finished.